On this episode of Nugget Project, this is going to be the last time you're going to see rust in this chassis. That's right guys, we are almost at the end of this rust repair. It has been a long adventure, but we are getting there. And I am getting better at rust repair too. My patches used to take ages, and now I am smashing out little patches in the matter of half an hour to an hour, which is great. So hopefully by the end of this episode, we're gonna have a lot of those patches done. I'm not too sure if it'll 100% be finished, but I want it to be pretty much done. This will be the last video, I promise. I think I said that last time. The last video you're gonna see rust. But the reason I wanted to film this video is to show you the rust progress, but also show you some of the goodies I have got here. Now, bear with me, because I work for Street Machine, filming their Carnage YouTube channel, and I basically get to watch shiny parts getting bolted on cars every day and cars being built, and it gets me all antsy, and in my lunch break and at night, I end up jumping online and buying parts. And I've got a lot sitting here. So let me run you through some of the really cool stuff I've got going on here. Let's start this side. So there's a guy in England called Neil. He's a lovely dude, and he is on a mission to rescue as many AW11 MR2s as possible. He has a field full of them, and he sends parts out all over the world to help people like me save their AW11s. So he sent me a box with some goodies. Now, first off, he sent me engine mounts. So these are the engine mounts I need to fit a manual transmission in this car, because remember it was an automatic. Now, I'm not putting a stock manual transmission in this, I'm putting something a bit spicier in there, but these mounts do work with that transmission. Now, the rubbers are flogged out, but that's okay. I'm gonna rebuild them, and they are very rusty. Unfortunately, the box rocked up from Australia Post, completely soaked, so it looks like they dumped it in the ocean on the way or something. But anyway, I've got 3 mounts there, which are fantastic, and I will do a video on rebuilding those with our new polyurethane kit. It is a softer polyurethane, which should help minimize vibrations. The next part of the puzzle for the manual transmission is a shifter. So I was struggling to find one of these, but this is the manual shifter assembly for an AW11, and it will work with our new gearbox. Very cool. Needs a bit of love. It's got some surface rust on it, but it is like the back's fine. It's just the top. A little bit of surface rust, that is fine. And also the gear cables to go with that. It goes back to the gearbox, helps change gears. Also a gear shift boot, which I've decided I'm not going to use because I'm going to get one that matches the interior. More about that in a minute. Also, he sent me the clips for the gear cables, a new sunroof latch, because my sunroof latch is cracked. It still works, but it's a bit crappy, so got that one, and I'm going to pull both of them apart and make one nice one. These are rubber seals that go along the side skirts, along the side of the car. Mine was missing them, and it's just one of those little trim pieces that makes the car nice. So it's little 1%ers, guys. So that's pretty cool. And then also a window switch for the passenger side, which I was missing. So nice to have one of them, and I struggled to find one of them too. So thank you, Neil, for sending that stuff over. Very cool, and that is gonna help me a lot. Now, over here, this box here, there is a website called Amayama. There's also another one called Partsook. If you guys don't know what these websites are and you're into Japanese cars, you need to get onto it because it is awesome. Basically, it is new, old stock of parts, and you find stuff on there that is really hard to get. I got the front badge for my car. People sell those badges for $50 to $60 to $70 online in average condition secondhand. I bought mine delivered for 60 bucks, so jump on there. So I got some pedal rubbers because we now have a third pedal, and also the brake pedal needs to be converted because it's the wide one, so I'm going to chop it down. These two are seals for our fuel tank. Unfortunately, I need 3 of them, and I only bought 2. So instead of paying more for one of those, I bought this. This is a nitrile sheet. So this is a piece of rubber. It's basically the same material as this, and I'm going to make my own just because I wanted to. And it was like $6 as opposed to like 15 bucks for one of those. Also in here, lots of little baggies, and these are all bits for my clutch pedal. So the clutch pedal I got from a guy up in Queensland, secondhand. It's a little bit rough, but it was missing the springs, the clips, the bushes, all of that came from Amayama. I think all of that was like $7, $8, so awesome. All brand new stock will make that work, so that's fantastic. The only downside of Amayama is it takes forever for the stuff to get here. That box took about 7 weeks, so if you're in a rush, you can pay for expedited shipping. I don't because I'm not in a rush, and I do have more parts coming from those guys. Anyway, on to our friends at Raceworks. Quick appreciation message. I love the guys at Raceworks. They support me with all this sort of stuff, but also I work with them from time to time. I went and shot for them at Motorex. Great bunch of dudes and good Aussie company. No one's got a beef with them. Everyone just loves their stuff. So if you need fittings or any of that, grab a PAT catalog, check it out. Also, the new PAT catalog should hopefully have the Nugget in it. Very exciting. Anyway, in here, I have got my fuel pressure regulator. I've actually had this for a while for them, but I hit them up for all the fittings. So these are all the fittings I need to make that fit with our new engine. I don't want to tell you what the new engine is yet because I don't have it, but I know exactly what I want and I'm just waiting for the right priced donor car to come along, and then I'll have the engine and gearbox and wiring for it. But this will work with it. Bit of a hint, don't give it away in the comments if you can figure it out from that, but the new engine is a deadhead system, not a return system like the 4AGE. The new one is a deadhead. So we're going to use this and work it in as a deadhead system. We've also got a filter from them, and that is serviceable. So you can pull it apart, flush it out, put it back together. You don't have to just keep unbolting and throwing away fuel filters. Really good. So beautiful stuff from Raceworks. Also, I hit them up for, I measured up exactly what I needed for fuel lines for the new engine. So I've got return line and feed line there, all good stuff. And all E85 capable. But we'll talk about that another day. So, the last thing from Raceworks, and this one's very exciting. I've been pumped for this to rock up. Check this bad boy out. This is a Raceworks deep dish steering wheel. Oh, 350mm, I believe. And yet, deep dish, this thing is beautiful. So this is their leather steering wheel with the yellow stitching. Now I've got the yellow stitching because remember I've got the quite rare yellow and black seats in this car. So you know what, every time I post them up, people are like, oh, they're the cool seats. So we're gonna stick with those seats, and I've got the black with the yellow stitching to match that. So the black leather will match the dashboard, and then obviously the yellow stitching will match the seats, and I'm gonna get a gear stick boot. So where was that boot? So similar to that, but we're gonna have yellow stitching instead. Not gonna go too nuts with the yellow theme, but just enough to make it all tie together nicely. Beautiful steering wheel, and this isn't like this is a proper racing steering wheel. This isn't like one of your cheapos that you get off eBay and it bends, and these are tough and beautifully made. And they also supplied me with the horn button for the middle. So thank you so much to Raceworks. I love a good steering wheel. You know, it's the thing you touch the most in the car when you're driving, and it's cool to have a really nice one. All right, let's smash through the rest of this. So our friends at Protex have come to the party and given us some beautiful stuff here. So front disc here, which is great. And these are new front pistons to rebuild our calipers. So that's very cool. So they are brand new caliper pistons there. And also the seal kits, the rebuild kits for the calipers. So I can fully rebuild those calipers, new pistons, new seals, and they will be like brand new basically. And then we can paint them up some nice color. And also some ultra ceramic brake pads there. Also, I did get that is a rebuild kit for my clutch master cylinder. So that's good. It means the clutch pedal is gonna feel nice. Now this one's a weird one. David up the road, he has an AW11 with a K24 in it. Absolute rocket ship. And he has constantly gone through evolutions of brake upgrades and things like that. So he hit me up the other day. He's put even bigger rear brakes on his car. And he said, would you like to buy these off me? So these bad boys are rear brake calipers off a second generation turbo MR2s. You know, this the second generation shape, the rounder one. Turbo model, these are the good rear calipers, and these are beautiful. And the best part is they bolt straight onto this car. Straight on, the handbrake cable fits in here, it all bolts up like factory. The only difference is that the discs need to be spaced slightly different. So he's got specially made up spacers here. They will just space that disc out slightly to line it up with that caliper. That is the only difference. And every generation of MR2 uses the same size rear brake pads. Pretty random. I love Toyota stuff. It's all just works. Now, because those calipers are bigger and they sit further out, you actually use the front discs on the back. So it would have the same size disc front and back. Now, I can upgrade the front brakes later on, but these cars were notoriously underbraked at the back from the factory. Because they were basically scared of people turfing it into corners, hitting the brakes and the back locking up. I'd like to think I have a little more wherewithal with my braking ability and my driving ability on this car. And I feel a stronger rear brake will hopefully keep me nice and straight coming into a corner being rear engine. So very cool upgrade there, very stoked, and it's all Toyota. So, you know, shouldn't be any problems there. Right, last couple of things. I think I did show you this in a previous video, but this is a full bush kit for this car. So every single bush on the control elements. So yeah, rear, front, sway bars, steering rack, all that. This is a full bush kit, and that came from MR2 Prime over in the States. Paid for that obviously, but yeah, nice guys, got that to me very quickly, very cool. And then I've been buying lots of other little bits that I just know will help out. So I got these online. These are just grommets. So we've got obviously grommets for feeding wires through, and then just blanking grommets. So, you know, in the chassis now and again, they'll have a hole that just needs to be blanked. I just got a pack of different sizes of those because you never know. It really helps to have that sort of stuff. Lastly, in my collection of stuff, I just got this yesterday, but this is a box of sound deadening sheets. So I could have gone with the car builders expensive stuff that everyone uses and puts on Instagram and then covers it in carpet, no one ever sees it. But honestly, this stuff is exactly the same. It is about half the price and it works really well. So all the sound deadening is gone from under the seats. The last guy had the car stripped it all back so he could find the rust. Thank you. But now we need to obviously put it back because I don't want the car to sound like a tin can. So we'll use that. I've got 2 boxes of that and we'll run that through, and I might even put a little bit in the front and the boot just to stop that sort of drumming and echoing through the chassis. Try and quieten this thing down and make it a nice driver. It is a little bit of weight, but honestly these boxes aren't that heavy, so I think it'll be worth it to make this car a nicer daily driver. Oh, deep breath. That's a lot of parts, right? But yes, and I've got more. Like I literally was going around all my shelves trying to find all the stuff I just got. I got a front bumper over there too, but you would have seen that in the last video that I repaired. Absolute mess of a bumper, but I think we fixed it up, so it's good. Right, let's finish this rust repair. Okay, let me take you on a bit of a whirlwind tour of what I have been doing at this car off camera. So I've got my light here and I'll try and show you what I've been doing. So this section here was all rusted out and I rebuilt it. Now you can see it's not perfect, but that whole section there is underneath the plastic panel, so you can't see it. Wicked. I showed you that skirt and that skirt in one of the videos, but also underneath, all inside there under the boot, I've replaced on both sides. Little things like this section here, replaced a bit of rust there. There on the boot, there on the boot, there on the boot. Come around this side. I still have to do that one, that's on my list. But this section here, I replaced that. And once again, that is all under a plastic piece, so it's not a problem. But yet, replace that. I still have to do that little one there. Also, once again, all underneath the boot there. I showed you this panel in a previous video, and also my floor, which we saw in the last rust repair video. But also, let's go around to the other side now. I have done the driver's side floor too. So that was just that patch panel there. As we cut that out, replace that. And in the front, so I had to replace not only the whole bottom of the front, and this repair's okay. I'm not super stoked on it. It was very hard to do. But I had to replace this whole section here. So that whole bottom section was cut out, and I basically molded it and then put beads in it to make it match. Now, I am going to do some sort of carpet or something in here to make it a bit nicer. But yeah, that's all done too. So there's lots of little bits I haven't even shown you there. There's tons of little patches that I've had to do, and they all take time. You know, each one of those is an hour, hour and a half. But we're getting there. Literally, like, I'm feeling better and better by the day, and it is slowly coming together, which is great. So I'll try and show you a few patches on this, and once again, I promise this time this will be the last rust repair video. I just want to show you a few of the last bits, but we're getting there, and it's exciting because it means I can get on its wheels. We can put in all, we can treat down underneath the body, put in all those new bushes, new brakes, put it down its wheels, and then we can start looking at paint, which will be really exciting. All right, let's figure out what the next patch is going to be. I'm now starting from the very back of the car and working my way forward. If you're not on Facebook or Insta, jump on the page there because I'm actually showing a progress from the back of the car forward. So at the moment we're up to about here. So I've got that bit over there to do, and there's a couple of bits in the engine bay we need to sort out. So we'll get them done. Alrighty, first one, let's strip this back. I think this is the furthest one back. Strip that back, see where the rust finishes, make up a patch. Alright, I've got a vague shape there. So, transfer that onto some metal, see what we can do. Okay, so I've cut that out. I've got a fairly decent patch which I'll tack and then shape and tack and shape, which I found to be the best way of doing these things. I have rust treated just a little bit on the inside there, it was rusty, and then just done some zinc spray primer, which works really well. It's a weld through primer. Now I'm just waiting for that to dry, and the back of the piece, obviously you got to prime the underneath of the piece because you can't get to it once it's welded in. Tack, 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 tack. See how we go. May work, may not. Time will tell. Lots of grinding and cutting and shaping, and I've got that pretty much close. Bitch of a shape. Alright, let's tuck it in. Cool, she's in there. Most of this is hidden under trim and plastic, so it's not a problem anyway, but we'll give it a grind back. Got to clean up this edge, got to tack a couple of things in the back, but it'll be nice and strong. Phew. There we go. It's not amazing, but it's all covered up by this bit, and that bit will just need a bit of filler and she'll be happy. Let's give it a coat of zinc primer. Just for now, obviously, we're going to do proper stuff when we paint it. I just need to re-drill the hole there that holds this little panel on. So that guy fits right there over the top of it all. Wicked, job done. All right, so let's grind all this back. So we're going to use the stripper disc and strip back that guy, and that guy. There's so many little bits, and like even in here, like that bit and that bit. And there's a bit there, and there's a bit over that side, and that bit there, like they're just tiny little patches, but they've all got to be fixed. Luckily, while I'm working, I can listen to my Raycon earbuds. No, I'm joking. I'm not sponsored by Raycon. They're not even Raycon. Alright, let's get stripping. Okay, I'm blasted ahead here, and I've ground these three back, and whew, this one shouldn't be too bad. pretty much just cut, and then just make a flat piece with a bend. Should be pretty cruisy. This one's going to be a headache because it actually loops over into the fuel cap area. So I'm pretty much going to have to cut a big patch there and then do that shape, but I'm going to have to actually have it a bit bigger, bend it all over, and then make that curve. It's going to be a bitch. It's not going to be fun, but there's a fair bit of cancer there that needs to go. And this one is just a complex shape. It is what it is. All right, I guess we start. Yikes. Ideally, I would untack this and take this whole fuel filler thing out, but I really don't want to. So I think I'm going to wing it. I am just worried about this sealant stuff. I think I'll just cut all that out. Just have to run a seam sealer on the inside of it. That's about the best I can do. Gross. Gasket. Not bad. It's a little bit of a flappy disc just to adjust it. Alright, so for this bit, use the bit I cut out for that shape on the back, and I'll just leave an edge that I can fold over, so leave a little bit of space on these edges for where I cut it for the width of the blade, and then copy that the best I can. Cool. All right, cut into that. Make that happen. Okay, patch looks pretty good. It's kind of sort of sitting in there at the moment, but I'll tack it in, and I've bent all those pieces around to mimic that shape, and it's looking pretty good. So I'll tack, and then I can tack these and I'll weld those up and then just get a grinder in there to clean it up. Should work pretty well. Let's see how it goes. Okay, so that's all tacked in now and actually fairly straight. It's not bad. So slowly go around and fill in all the gaps, so you just gotta let it cool down, and then I can weld all this junk underneath here. Not bad. Okay, much grinding later and it's kind of sort of done. So doesn't look amazing, but obviously, just like all my repairs, gonna need a bit of filler, just getting this shape right. So I've been using this grinder and just getting the disc in there and just trimming it back, and I think I've got it pretty good. Problem is, if I can find my fuel cap. I need my fuel cap to test fit it. The other downside is I do have a dip here where the panel heated up and it bowed, which sucks. You gotta be careful of that. So I'm gonna have to pull that bit out. The rest of it's not too bad, so when I do the body work, I should be able to hide all that. Man, what a mission. Morning friends, it is Friday, it's a week later and we're going to get stuck back into this. obviously I've got to go and work. If you haven't seen the video, I took my GT Liberty, that guy, the family wagon, down the drag strip yesterday. It was hilarious and slow, but I still love that car. All right, let's see what we're gonna get stuck into today, because we've got lots to do. Let's turn the light on here. It is really cold this morning, holy moly. So we fixed up for that last week, and that's turned out okay-ish. It's not bad, it's gonna need some love. I reckon we get this one done and then get stuck into getting all these bits in the boot fixed. We're gonna smash through this on the video because you guys don't need to see all this rust repair. I just want to show you a bit of it. So let's go. In other news, I think I should be sponsored by Ryobi because I'm spruiking their products, but how cool is this little light? So it's a little inspection light, holy cow. But magnetic, and it's got a full articulating head. It's got a 2 amp hour rechargeable battery, lasts about 30 hours. Freaking cool bit of kit, I love it. I wasn't gonna spend the money, but I had to go and get some grind discs from Bunnings, and I treated myself because I've only got really that big light down there, which is great, but it's really hard if you just want to see up inside small areas and stuff like that. So that is going to be really cool and very handy for welding because I can stick it right next to what I'm welding and get it done. Very cool bit of kit. Ryobi, if you're watching, please help me out with gear. I love your stuff. Well, that was a pretty terrible repair, but it's a lot of that's covered up by the window trim, and then that little bit there, just a little bit of filler over the top, it'll be fine. But yeah, pretty terrible for what should have been a pretty easy repair. Anyway, let's get in the back now. I want to fix the entire back of this car today. So I'm gonna get all these boot bits done, so the engine bay bits done, and all these bits around the windows today. Let's get going. So I just ground all this back, and it's as usual, worse than I thought. So let's have a look. The little section in here is a bit funky, but I think I'm just gonna rust treat that one. Got a couple of holes there, which sucks, and I don't really know what to do with that yet. It's all like on this lip here, so I'm probably gonna have to cut that out, replace that lip. That's gonna be a bit of a bitch. Got holes there, which I knew about, so we'll do those. But then over this side, got another one there, and then this whole lip here needs to be replaced. And then same thing this side, it's got the hole there and then this lip there. So there's a lot to do. So I might just time lapse this one and I'll try and get it done. Well, what a mission of the day. Obviously the time lapse didn't go the entire time, just for a little bit. But it is the end of the day and this is all done. But wow, this stuff takes a lot of time. Let me show you what I've done. We'll use our fancy new light and point out stuff. Right, so I've rust treated that bit. This bit here, it's a little bit funky, but basically welded in a patch there, welded in all over, cut out the rust and just welded over the rust and then ground it all back. That's all gonna be seam sealed, so that's not too bad. Put a patch in here, and then I think a little welded spot there, weld spot there. That was fully patched in, so that's a whole new spot. That was fully welded in, a whole patch there. This, move this out of the way, this whole section here, this whole lip, that is all new. That whole section in the corner there is all patched up and new and welded in all over there. And then this is the last one I've done, and this one was a real pain in the ass, I'm not gonna lie. But that's somewhat welded in now. Just trying to grind that back, and that tight spot there is really hard to try and make it all smooth. But yeah, now I'm gonna go over and rust treat what I need, and then just clean up the rest and cover it up with our zinc primer. But man, what a mission. This is why this stuff takes so long. Whoa, let's turn that light down. It is bright. This is why this stuff takes so long. It is just so time consuming, and that is just like the back window area of this car. And you saw how much rust this car had. So, but it's good. That is one bit that I wasn't looking forward to. That is all done. And now we can move on to, we can just keep moving forward in this car. Let me show you this though. So these rocked up today. These are little quick releases. So they're kind of like the bonnet latches I've got on the XL. You pop that off and then you pop them on and they lock on. People use them for bumpers, like drifters use them for bumpers and stuff. What I want to use them for is, you have a look in here, what my grinder is sitting on, that is the battery tray. However, I want to move the battery out of here because I want to turn this whole area here into an airbox. Now it's usually got this, on this side section here, there's like a panel, and I'm actually going to make an air intake through there. I'm thinking about doing a snorkel because that's an MR2 thing, but bringing air into here and making this an enclosed airbox. But I want to box in the top of it to make it all nice and neat, and to hold the lid on, I was thinking these little things. So I've got little quick release clips, so I'm going to click, 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 take the lid off, and then I'll have my nice BMC air filter in there from Raceworks. But yeah, I think that'll work really nicely. It's going to be a bit of a convoluted box because I've got to go around the strut tower, and then the fuel filler neck goes in here and goes down to the fuel tank down there. So it's going to be quite complex, but that'll sit nicely next to our new engine to be announced. And then what I want to do is run my battery in here. So I'm hoping to get an Optima battery from the guys at Raceworks and run a little Optima battery in here. So I'm going to extend out, where's my light? Hang on. So I want to extend out that little platform, put in like a little brace there, and then run a little tray for an Optima battery, and then obviously blank off this end section here, and I can have the fuse box for the new engine and the battery and all that stuff just in here. So, well, we'll lose a little bit of boot space, but not a lot. It should be pretty good. Welcome back, friends. It is the next Friday and we're continuing on rust repairs. However, something fairly decent happened this morning. Oh God, everything's falling over. I took the windscreen out. So if you haven't seen that video yet, it's worth checking out, because yeah, no one would come and help me because I wasn't buying a new windscreen. They all just didn't want to come out. Wasn't worth their time. So I did it myself with an eBay kit. Unfortunately, all this is rusted. This is going to be one of the worst repairs on the car. And honestly, I'm leaving it for last because it's going to be really hard work. Anyway, today we're going to continue on. We'll fix this piece here. This piece is quite complex, and I've had the pen out and cardboard and scissors, and I'm just trying to figure out the best way to do it. So I think I'm going to do a section here with a leg there, and then I'll make the piece in between. It's going to be tricky, so I'll try and make it out of cardboard first, and then we'll cut it out and see what happens. Oh, also, I put the door back on so I can shape up this piece here. Remember when I replaced this panel, this bit didn't end up getting finished, so I'll finish that off. Not sure if I'll do that today. I want to get these bits done and that bit done today. But yeah. All right, let's get going.
I call you up to 15 times a day.
Right, the little one cut the size. Now I just need to bend it up, make it fit in there.
I'll buy you silver diamond rings, another punk rock furry face, and all the gifts that you can do without. It's not your fault. No, it's not your fault. No, it's not your fault. No, it's not your fault. You were born into this giant mess. Got reasons to be happy when you're stressed. I wanna move away with you, but you're too busy in solitude. I just want to get you out of your house. It's not your fault. No.
Okay, I've got that piece welded in, so now I just need to cut a little triangle to patch that bit, and then I'll pop this bit out and we'll cut a patch to match that. Weld that one in,
Love that line there, and then grind it all back and it should be okay. Phew. Alrighty, got our little piece made up to fit in there. Just have to bend it over at the edge and a little bit of grinding, all that sort of stuff, make it fit. And we'll just have to tuck that in there. Alrighty, skip forward a bit and we're welded in. So just got that little triangle there. It was actually really hard to fit in. Took a bit of love, but yep, that's all tacked in now. So now the bit I hate the most is grind it all back. Alright, it's done. As usual, not incredible, but a little bit of filler and sanding should be right. Definitely better than the rust. Phew. So surely you guys have had enough of watching me fix rust, right? Alright, we'll do one more. We'll do that little guy and then we'll call it. There we go, all done. And that should have been an easy patch, but just because of that angle and then having these bits here, it's really hard to get the cutter in and then hard to get the grinder in. So end up having to use my little grindy wheel and just smoothing it along and then getting the big flappy in there to smooth it out afterwards. But yeah, all right, put a bit of coat on that, we're done.
So there we go, guys. It's not finished, but it's the last time you're gonna see it with rust in this chassis. I could keep this video going, but after removing that windscreen this morning and seeing how much rust was under that roof line, I'm gonna have to replace pretty much the whole lip where the windscreen sits, and there's the whole shelf that goes up to the roof and part of the roof. It's gonna be mega. And I don't think it's something I really wanna try to document just because I wanna get it done. It's gonna be a lot of work and I just wanna put my headphones in and smash it out. But the reality of this car is it's probably 80% done for rust, which is great. So, you know, bar the roof, we are now up to here. Everything back there is rust free, which is awesome. So apart from that, we've got that spot there on both sides. And then I've got the driver's side guard. We did the passenger guard already. I've already done the front. And then there's just bits around the front bar where the headlights sit and stuff like that. And then obviously the big one is inside here of the strut towers on both sides. The passenger side's nowhere near as bad as the driver's side. But in reality, that's one, two, three, four, maybe 6 repairs on the front of the car and then the roof. I think that's not too bad. I'd love to get a new roof skin, but I'm just not going to be able to find one, so we're going to fix it. Obviously this part here sucks. It's just rusty and horrible. Same with the other side, not as bad, but it's still not great. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Obviously the rust repair on this car is a huge undertaking and the majority of the build of this car, but it's very cool. And the fact I took that windscreen out and stuff, I still have not had any help with this car. And I'm not saying I don't want help from mates and stuff. I mean, I want to do everything myself. I don't want to take it to a professional and get them to do it. And there's nothing wrong with doing that if that's what you want to do. I want to learn. I want to do this. And when I get to boot this car around, knowing that I did everything on this car, that's pretty cool. And I'm very excited about that. So anyway, thanks for watching. New t-shirt coming out soon. I think I said that in the last video and I still haven't done it, but I've got the design somewhat finalized now, so that should be coming out soon. And it's a very cool t-shirt and it involves this car, so please check that out. And any cent I make goes into making this car a reality, because at the moment my funds are zapped. I just bought a whole new front lip for this car from New Zealand and it cost me a small fortune, but it's a very cool lip. So we'll show you that in a future video. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next episode.